There's a few key differences. Special economic zones, they tend to, number one, focus on like one or two sectors. So there tends to be like an approved list of sectors that can operate within the zone, whether it's textiles, manufacturing, or the zone is organized to be a tech hub or something like that. So it's pretty, monolithic in terms of what sectors and industries can operate in a zone. A charter city, on the other hand, is mixed use. So not only is there sort of multiple sectors allowed in, but there is industrial use, there's commercial use, and importantly, there's residential use. So a lot of SEZs and industrial parks are purely a place where firms can locate and get certain incentives, and they don't involve a residential component. Whereas a charter city, the residential component is what makes a city a city. A city requires people in order to be a city, and that's what gets the what economists call agglomeration economies or urban agglomerations going that can self-sustain economic growth over a long period of time. So that's number one, is kind of the mixed use versus single use. Number two is just size. Like a lot of special economic zones and industrial parks are very narrow in terms of the amount of land that they are situated on, whereas charter cities are city scale. Ideally, too, the charter city is expandable, right? So as more and more people and businesses are attracted to the charter city, you want to be able to accommodate those people and continue to expand as that urban population expands over time. The other, I think, key differentiator is around the rule set. So with SEZs, when a government passes a particular SEZ legislation and then approves of a zone, they like that SEZ legislation is sort of set on the books legally. And so every time that SEZ needs to reform or change those rules, right? Because we're human and we're fallible, we're not going to get the rule set exactly perfectly right at the beginning of the setup of these zones. So we'll figure out where we're wrong over time. And those rules, therefore, then, when we figure out we made a mistake, need to be reformed and changed. Every time that realization happens, the zone operator has to go up to higher tiers of government and say, hey guys, we figured out we made a mistake here in this one clause. We need it reformed and changed. Can you guys please kind of pass or amend the legislation? And with that setup, you can imagine that takes a lot of time. And politics and legal reform and stuff is very slow moving. And when you're trying to grow a city rapidly and attract businesses to that place, that's going to hamper business dynamism. On the other hand, a charter city devolves that ability to change rules over time down to the city administration, the zone administration. And so that ability to not only recognize when reforms and legal changes are needed, but then to be able to quickly respond to those changes locally within the city administration is, I think, one of the key differentiators between a special economic zone on the one hand and a charter city on the other.